Hello everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us while we're tracking this slow moving low to the north of New Zealand. On the animated wind map today, that's the area of low pressure in the darker colouring, and the brighter whiter colouring, that's a big high coming in from Aussie. In fact, the centre of the high, it's so big that it's way over off the screen, but it stretches all the way out over New Zealand. So we're in a complicated setup with this low still hanging around. It rained a little bit longer than we thought it would do in the north, but it wasn't really that heavy for a lot of the places. It was patchy and light, but now it's moving away. So Friday looks like this, quite a difference as high pressure pushes in and that wet stuff, the low moves away out behind us, disappears. So what is behind all that? A few showers out at sea and mostly light winds. But as you can see, most of those showers are out at sea on Friday, most of them. So there might be a couple that brush the west coast. It looks as though the North Island's still dry because that's a bit more of a southeasterly airflow. That's usually quite a nice one. There will be a few lingering showers around East Cape and Gisborne as well, and maybe northern Hawke's Bay, but everywhere else should be mostly dry or completely dry. Let's get to the weekend. Saturday looks like this. There is a change happening. We've got that big high. It's still over in Australia. It sort of retreats a little bit over the weekend. There's the next cold front coming through. So Saturday, the weather does start to go downhill. And in the North Island, because you've gone from that southeasterly to more of a westerly or a southwesterly, you're going to get some of those showers moving into the western side of the North Island as well. It won't be much, and it won't ruin the day, I don't think, depending on what you're doing, but hopefully it's going to be a pretty good day still, and driest and sunniest over on the eastern side, where it's also going to warm up just by a degree or so. Now by Sunday, it's a windier, wetter day. We've got this cold front moving in on the west coast, so rain moves up the western side. It turns to snow in the mountains, and that snow level could drop to maybe 300 or 400 meters. So just keep up to date with that. It might move around a little bit between now and then. Very strong winds. There'll be gale force through the Southern Alps and extending a little bit further out to the east. Rain or showers moving in towards Taranaki, Wanganui, and down towards Manawatu as well, and pretty blustery along the east coast. But it will be mild as well. It should be a little bit warmer in some of those eastern areas, but south of about Christchurch, it gets colder as that sou'wester moves in. Let's have a look at next week. Monday kicks off with mild westerlies for the north of the country, but the bottom 2/3 are colder as a result of that windier sou'west change. And there's another cold front coming through with southerlies behind it. That snow level on Monday might lower even further down around Southland. And then we get to Tuesday and finally get to see the middle of this big high out here over Australia, finally trying to push in towards us. But it's a cold day on Tuesday. That dark blue line goes all the way up to Northland. So that just means it's a colder day than usual, and you'll probably find it's fairly windy as well, with the sou'westers or southerlies blowing through across New Zealand. Now before I go, we've got a different map for you. This is a 15-day rain map from now right through for the next couple of weeks. I think it goes to July 6th from memory. Now what this shows is all the rain that it's going to accumulate. The totals are down here. You may not be able to see it so well, but it says 300 millimeters for that blue area there. A couple of hundred millimeters possible up in that area. But perhaps more importantly, it's the eastern side, which is wetter than average right now. So you want some drier weather. You want a break in the rain. The good news is the green you see on that area, Hawke's Bay, Waited Upper, and also down in towards northern parts of Canterbury, that's really down around the 10, 15 millimeter mark. And even down in Canterbury, sort of numbers are getting at the highest in that red zone. That's down around 60 millimeters in South Canterbury. So I hope overall, this is going to be an optimistic forecast for the eastern side, but for the western side, perhaps even pushing it around Taranaki and up around Northland on the western side, it is starting to get a bit wet. So just thought that was quite interesting. That data comes from the US government. That is all from me. We'll update you again tomorrow, Friday, with the very latest as we head in towards the weekend.